Hi everyone, Michelle Fixit. I am in the middle of a room that I have been working on and painting and working my magic on, and an interesting thought occurred because the floor that I just put in, which is brand new, it's like a life-proof type, it's fantastic. I haven't done my quarter round yet, and this was the register or the air vent that came with the house. So this is going to be a how to measure out and work with replacing a floor register when you're in the middle of a remodel or refurbishing or flipping or whatever you want to call it, so that it can help you. So first off, you're going to get your old register off the floor. You're going to look at it. Now you have two choices here. You can either soak this in hot soapy water, pressure wash it, sand it, clean it, spray paint it with some Rust-Oleum paint, which would be the preferred method if you're going to paint this and go this route. And it depends on your budget. And all of that would work very well. You can bring one of these nasty things back up to speed. It's just going to take a lot of time. So I like to say that there's a time money equation with everything. So sometimes I have not a lot of time, so I will buy things that make my life easier. Other times I don't have a lot of money, and so I will spend the time to get something up to how I want it to be. I try to blend my worlds together that way. So in this instance, I have the time, but I don't want to spend the time on this guy. It's gross, it's yuck. I'll clean it and, save it for a rainy day. Might end up doing some videos on it to show you guys how I clean up the registers. But in this event, for this particular property, like most of the other properties, I will get one of these guys. Now, a lot of people will measure the exterior of this and then go to the store and start shaking their head and they'll be confused. Other people will measure the interior, and it all depends on the age of your house, as if they actually still have this particular size available. And what I will recommend to you is to do the no-brainer thing. Take this with you to the store and then look at different packages and compare old equipment to new equipment. Okay, that's my best suggestion I can give to you. So I went to Home Depot and I brought this with me and I sized them up, and then I landed on this guy, which if you use either one of those principles I just talked about, I will show you why it would be deceptive and you'd be confused. So also, as a random segue, I particularly like this design for my floor registers when I'm doing that. I have certain little quirks. If you just want a pretty one and you don't care about the design, but you want something aesthetically pleasing, Walmart actually has these for 3/4 the price, if not half the price, depending on the size of the register. Just so you know. So not, Home Depot unfortunately doesn't have the cheaper ones. You either get like the yucky basic ones, or you get these guys, and these guys have a higher price point. So if you were to have measured the outside of this up against this guy, then you will see that one is 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch bigger. So then you'd be kind of confused. You're like, ooh, is that going to work? The other thing, if you measure the sides of it, let's line them up, is there's a 1/2 inch space with lengthwise, okay? And then if you butt them up like this, you're going to see the same thing. So this is where you have to use common logic and common sense, which is in shorter supply nowadays. Sorry. Not sorry though, because it's true. Because you have to learn these things, and until you know how to do them, until you've done them, you just don't know. So if this guy, let's say, is 4.5 by 6.5, which is not, but this new guy, because you have the register with you, is 4 inches and 6 inches, then this one would work with the interior piece, because as long as it fits in and recesses, think of it as like a cookie cutter. If you have a bigger circle hole and then you have a smaller circle, you can put that smaller circle into that bigger hole. You don't want to get something bigger than what you have, because then it's not going to work. So if you find yourself in a weird situation because you have an older home, get something that is smaller on the interior wise so that you know that it will fill the space, and then flip it around and make sure that the exterior of it will cover whatever recess you have. Me in particular, because I put this floor in, what I did is I made sure that I did the tightest and then I shave it out. So you make your register just at your register opening, just as a nice basic hole, and then you can see like my shavings. Okay, and so if you have a piece of cardboard, you're going to plop that into your vent, or a bigger piece of cardboard, or aluminum foil, something like that, tin foil if you want to call it that. And then you're going to shave the sides and then try to put the equipment in. So you guys saw me pull this one out. We're going to put this new one in. It's going to be a nice understated upgrade to this house, or property, if you will. So look, now that looks fantastic. I still have to do my quarter rounds and everything. I do have spacing, but this is a nice aesthetically pleasing design. Will it move around a little bit? Yes, because it is a little bit smaller, but again, you know, you don't want to be taking away from a property to try to put something new in. And when you're dealing with older houses, sometimes like that's just what you have to do. You just have to work with what the house makes available to you. The other thing is that you may find yourself in a situation where you don't have a floor vent like this. Like this is something that they would have had 60s, 70s, 80s. Anything prior to like the 50s, you may have like a cast iron register. Those are going to be really, really hard to find. And so 99.9% of the time, because they are harder to find, because they're squares, because they've got like ornate details, stuff like that, you're really going to want to just try to rehabilitate that piece, or you're going to want to go to secondhand stores that have building materials. Like in Baltimore, we have Second Chance, which is fantastic. They have lots and lots and oodles and caboodles of repurposed, recycled housewares, as far as like, you know, old bricks, old wood, old registers, old radiators. Or Habitat for Humanity Restores also have lots of different things. So you're going to be wanting to look for a recycling home improvement store if you're trying to look for something else. But otherwise, I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope you guys like and subscribe and have a fantastic day, and I will see you next time. Bye!